Broadway, and we're gonna go over some dry brushing, some glaze, and my favorite, which is the Dixie Belle Dirt. It's the add-on product that I use most when I have a lot of detail work and pieces. As you can see, this is a dresser set, a bedroom set that has all sorts of detail work, and we want it to stand out a little bit more. I didn't want to keep you guys here forever, so we went ahead and painted them with driftwood to begin with. So they're already painted 2 coats of driftwood, and they're already dry. I'm going to wait a little bit just to see if people sign on and watch the video. Please make sure that you're sharing the video and commenting, saying hi, let me know where you're from. It helps the videos go a little faster, and you might be able to win a glaze of your own and a Dixie Belle Dirt of your own. So we're going to have 2 giveaways. So please comment, say hi, let us know where you're from, ask questions, share with friends, tag people, whatever you want to do to enter.
Cheryl and Dixie Belle Paint says hi.
Hi. All right. So I picked Fluff as our accent color to dry brush with. You need very, very little paint because, as it sounds, you want your brush to be almost dry. For all of these kind of projects, I just use chip brushes. They're just the easiest, lightest brushes to use. Sorry if my voice is a little weird. I'm in the Northeast. It's allergy season, and this is my allergy voice. It's not awesome. Sorry. So what I do is I dip my brush, and I get, barely any paint on it. And then I even take it a step further and use a paper plate and kind of wipe it off. Or you can use a paper towel. In a pinch, I use my hand. Use what you need to use to get that paint almost all the way off and almost dry. And then I'm just going to go right on over and hit the high peaks. I'm not trying to get all the way in. I'm trying to just accent the color. If I need more, instead of dunking in, I'm just going to go right back to my plate and kind of keep going. When my brush is completely dry, I just get a little bit more and kind of working it over on my plate and just still hitting the high points. This way it adds a little bit of color without completely painting it. I'm choosing to just do the really pretty embellished parts of this set with a highlighted color. It's a nice way to add dimension and tone and make it look special.
Someone's asking what the base color was again.
Oh, sure. The base color is 2 coats of driftwood. Driftwood happens to be my favorite gray. It's just a really nice, light, neutral color to use. And it goes with everything.
And the color you're using now?
This is Fluff. Oh, I'm sorry. It's cotton. I grabbed Fluff, but it's cotton. I'm just going to go ahead and blame those allergies again because it's been a heck of a day. Usually I'm extra special on Fridays, but today we have allergies. So today you guys are lucky you have me on an extra special day.
Karen says it's a beautiful piece of furniture.
Thank you. I didn't make the furniture, but we're going to try to make it extra special. It was this really gross, like burnt yellow, orange kind of, I don't even think it was wood. I think it's like a composite. And it was hideous. Like I wasn't even sure what to do with it. So the gray just really toned it down. I should have left one of them undone so you guys could see how crazy it was. So as you can see, I'm just kind of dry brush going over and over it until I get it as white as I want it without it being solid white. So it is way better to use less paint and do more coats than it is to put gobs of paint on. Because if you put gobs of paint on, you're just painting it. All right. So the very cool thing is that this is essentially already dry. See, there's nothing on my hand.
Elizabeth wants to know if you sanded it first.
No, I apply my layers of paint before sanding anything. We cleaned the piece. We used Dixie Belle White Lightning, and we scrubbed the piece nice and clean, and then we used water to just kind of rinse it off, let it dry, painted 2 coats of paint, and then just started dry brushing this area. And then I add all my layers of color before I distress, and sometimes after. So now that that's as white as I think I want it for now, well, maybe I'll add a little bit more because I can't see around that corner. I just want to get in here a little bit. The nice thing is that you can keep going and adding over and over again. So you can essentially change a piece or a spot many, many times while you're working on it, which is amazing. So if you haven't used it, this is the cotton. It's a pure white, and it looks really pretty against the gray, which is driftwood. Guys, make sure you're commenting and questioning, and even if it's just saying hi, because you will get to enter a raffle for a giveaway for the glaze and the charcoal. I'm pretty sure you'll get to pick your color. But for us, I'm using the pearl glaze and the Dixie Belle dirt and charcoal on top of cotton, on top of driftwood. So now that this is all painted, it's dry to the touch. I have none on me except for what I painted on myself today. I'm going to take a sandpaper to add some dimension. This is 220. I rip my sheets and then I fold them over because for me, I feel like I get better grip and I can maneuver my paper a little bit better. But it's personal preference. If you prefer sanding blocks, then use a sanding block. If you prefer, you know, whatever. So I'm just going to kind of hit the high points. Not a lot, but just enough to kind of let some of the wood peek through. Because we want this to look exactly like it's layered, like we did.
We have a question, how long it takes to cure?
I would let all paint cure for 2 weeks personally, is what my rule of thumb. I can tell you that Dixie Belle does self-cure. It is amazingly durable. A quick story I tell all my customers that is the absolute truth. I have a 7-year-old, a 9-year-old. We have a 22-year-old. I have a 1.5-year-old puppy. And I am the shoemaker with no shoes. We did our kitchen cabinets. Well, I did the cabinets. And I ran out of time and hung them before putting anything over them as a top coat. And they're still perfect. And my kids climb on them and they do all sorts of stuff. So I can tell you that it is 100% durable. And that was like the best test I've ever used in my life. So nice and dry, nice and sanded in the certain spots. Like I said, I'm not going crazy because I want it to be more white than wood. Just kind of like wipe off your sanding dust. You don't want that getting into any of your your products. I'll get a fresh chip brush. So this is the pearl glaze. We're going to use like not that much at all. So again, I'm just going to put a teeny tiny bit. And I'm going to paint just right over and get in all the nooks and crannies. And what I like about the pearl glaze is it gives it a slight shimmer, tones down the colors, and kind of blends them out without being really like obtrusive and in your face and color changing. But I'm going to work in sections because while this is a little bit wet, and I'm still not using a lot, I don't know if you can see that, but there's really not much on there.
I have a couple questions.
Sure.
Can you wet distress instead of sandpaper?
Normally when you're doing a bigger piece, I personally would think it would be harder with dry brushing because the paint is dry seconds after you put it on because you're not putting a lot of paint on your brush to begin with. So I think it's going to get too dry too fast to do a really good wet distress. Unless you're using like a wet cloth, then it would work. But if you're wet distressing as in distressing it while your paint is wet, I think that would be tricky.
And the next question was, while curing, do you use the piece?
I, as a rule of thumb, because I sell all of my pieces, I top coat everything. It sits in our store for about a week, and then I let it go home to people and just let them know to use light use for the first week they have it in their home if it's brand new. It's just kind of common sense to be a little bit gentler with it. It's wood no matter what. It's furniture no matter what. If your kid scribbles on it with Sharpie, if you scratch it across, I mean, things are going to happen. But if you're gentle with the piece, it'll be fine forever. And I don't mean gentle like not using it. I mean just normal wear is fine. So I'm just going to kind of go back in because while it's like just a little bit wet and tacky, we're actually going to use our Dixie Dirt. So this is a loose powder. It essentially reminds me of eyeshadow that's all squished up in. And I use teeny tiny art brushes. This one has a slant. This is a flat one. Because what I use it for is to get in all these little nooks. So just like if you were to use a loose powder for your makeup, you put it on your brush and just tap it off. And then right in the sections that are a little bit wet still from the glaze, you're just going to go in there just like you would with eyeshadow.
I have a question about a mirror, if you tape it off or if you just wipe the paint off them. Use tape when you paint or wipe it off.
I want to say that's personal preference. I personally paint it and then wipe the paint off. And I've also been known to use really thin razor blades if I had to, but usually I don't. I usually just take a wet cloth and just wipe it off. So what I'm doing is literally just applying this like I would makeup. And I'm only going in the creases of the design. You can blow the rest away. I don't know how you guys are seeing it, but like there's a shadow there, so I'm going to increase the shadow. My voice is really crazy tonight. I'm sorry, guys. I sound like Kermit the Frog. Now, you can put this on with your wax. If you waxed a piece and the wax is still a little bit wet, you can put it on with top coat. I've kind of just rubbed it in, even once pieces were getting a little bit dry. And it's just a really fun and manageable way to add some shadowing and depth to a piece.
Okay, do you clear coat and add wax? If you do, what purpose is waxing over top coat?
Oh, no. I don't use both. One is sufficient. So I either wax or I top coat. Personally, I'm a wax fan. And one is nor better than the other, except for gator hide. Gator hide has a lot of extra kind of strength. It's the strongest thing we have. So that I use on kitchen tables or cabinets, like something that's going to get quite a bit of wear and tear.
Luann says she has a cedar chest that she's going to paint driftwood. It's plain. Should she use clear wax or colored wax?
Oh, well, we actually debated using colored wax on this one. There's a white wax, which is really fun. And the white wax can create a real driftwood look because you're going to essentially put white into all the little nooks and crannies. So that's always a fun option. You could use the brown wax and make it just look old, which is very fun, especially if you distress it a bunch and do like a funky farmhouse look. So it depends. which style you're going for. I'm just taking paper towel and kind of removing excess as I see that's bugging me, but I hope you can kind of see the dimension that's starting to form. There's no right or wrong way. Like if you add too much, so what? Even if you hate it, the worst you're gonna do is kind of touch it up and add more color or take it away. See, like that was too much, so I'm just gonna wipe it off. And this is, I promise you, not rocket science in the least bit. I am just following the lines that are already here. Like I'm not creating lines. I'm not doing anything scary, artistic, like just following what's already there. So this is starting to get pretty dry. So I'm just going to go back and put some more glaze on because I didn't really put much on this area. I'm not sure if you can see how pretty and kind of pearly that is. I'm just going to get a little more, and you can kind of tap it off if you have too much. And then I'm just going to keep going in. And this comes in a couple different colors also. Are you guys working on anything fun besides the hope chest? Have you done a lot of pieces? Has anyone used Dixie Dirt before? I know I was completely intimidated by it because it's powder. And then once I started playing with it, it's honestly my favorite thing. See, like there's just a hole, so I just literally am putting my brush into the hole. And now it's darker and has dimension. There's already this little thing here. I'm just gonna go right over it. And we're just gonna kind of keep working it. I don't like how that did that, so I'm just gonna wipe it off. Don't forget to share and comment so you can win some Dixie Dirt to play with.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying they've never used it, but they're very interested in trying it.
Yeah, it's great. Like if you've put makeup on, you can do it. Like here, I'll show you. Like pretend this is your eyeball or your wood. It's just like using your makeup. See? And I think that makes it less intimidating for us girls because I'm willing to bet at least 80% of us have done eyeshadow in our lifetime before.
Amy's working on a lot of projects right now. Dressers, nightstands, desks.
Sounds like you got a lot going on, girl. It's fun, though. There's definitely worse stuff we could be doing with our day.
We have a kitchen table on Mermaid's Tail right now.
I love Mermaid's Tail. That's such a pretty color.
Everybody loves the piece. Everybody keeps talking about this piece.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, guys. I'm obviously not going to finish the whole thing on this video because we all have things to do and want to go to bed at some point. But I'll make sure that we post the entire set when it comes done.
What colors does the dirt come in?
The dirt is ash, charcoal. Oh no. And the brown, I forget the name of the brown, but there's a brown one also. You know what? I'll grab the rest of the dirt when you can actually show them the bookshelf that goes with the set real quick.
You stand back a little bit.
Okay, sorry guys, I just wanted to make sure I had it and it was right in the other side. So ash is a lighter gray. It's basically the same color as driftwood. We tried it on this piece and you really couldn't see it. But it's really pretty on like a white. And then there's earth, which is like a brown tone. And there's black. And this is the charcoal. So we can just keep going. And then what I want you to see, I'm just going to finish out this side because I don't want to keep you guys forever because I know your time is super valuable too. But what I want you to know about Dixie Belle products in general is that you can consistently layer, like product upon product upon product, and just keep going until it's how you like it. So if this gets too dark and you want to dry brush some more because you're like, you know what, I got carried away with the Dixie Belle dirt and now it's black and I wanted it to be white, no big deal. We're just going to dry brush right back over it. Or you use the charcoal and you're like, you know what, maybe let's add some ash. Go for it. There's really no harm in doing it in any order. Some of it isn't overly necessary. Like I said earlier, when I do one top coat, I just pick one top coat and go with it because one is good enough. So why add work for yourself?
Denise wants to know how you seal the dirt.
Well, it's always going to dry in whatever we're putting it on that's wet. So when the glaze dries, it's kind of going to be dry with the glaze. So however I seal the piece is going to be how I seal the dirt.
Okay, and can you use the dirt for different application or just for detailing?
Oh no, I've used it with bigger brushes to shadow bigger pieces. I've used it to just make pieces look old. So you can use it whichever way kind of works for you. It's nice because it's nice and light. So it doesn't have to be this like big thing. Or it could be dark. I mean, that's dark. That's darker than I wanted. But it's really fine. We're going to fix it. I'm just going to go like that. And then this is a little weird because I'm working like upside down. I'm just going to go back over and add a little bit more cotton. And in general, I would have, you know, just kept going. But I'll keep going tomorrow. So like here, I thought it was like, see, that's what happens when you use too much. So see, you can even go right back over it. And it still stays there. And it's just tucked in underneath this new layer of white. I guess it's not white, it's cotton. I should use the right name. And then now, if we got too white, I can still come right back in and just add some more dirt.
Teresa asked if you would put poly on after you're done with the dust.
I don't use poly. I use all of Dixie Belle's top coats and or their waxes. And once everything is done and dry and the whole piece is set, yes, I would put a top coat of either their wax or their top coat on it. But as you can see, now there's even more dimension because there's the cotton that we put down first. Then there's the Dixie Belle dirt. And now there's the new cotton that I laid on over it. And you can keep doing this process as often or as less as you want. Like maybe you'll nail it the first time. That'd be amazing. I like to add layer upon layer because then it makes it look old. It looks like it chipped away. It looks more authentic. Why are you giggling at me? Sarah's making funny faces behind me,
Eddie
and I never trust
Marzigliano
it.
said you do beautiful work.
Who did?
Eddie Marzigliano.
Oh, that's my husband. Hi. So this is where I'm going to kind of leave you for today. If you guys have any questions, I'll stay on for a few minutes while you guys are asking questions. But I will post this picture to our page, Grace on Broadway, and back in these comments probably, hopefully by tomorrow, Friday at the latest, depending on how crazy my day gets tomorrow. I don't want to make any promises, especially with my cold or my allergies, whichever you want to call it. I refuse to believe that I might be sick, so I'm going to call it allergies. So is everyone excited to use dirt? I mean, I'm thrilled that at 37 years old, I get to play with dirt every day. It's kind of fun. So if there's no questions, I thank you guys for sticking with me and watching the video. And I guess I will talk to you guys later. Have a great night. Bye.